I'll be talking and wrapping up the market's breadth right now and the uncertainties that you guys need to factor in. And it's going to be a general market wrap up where I'll be covering a lot of altcoins, the levels that you guys need to watch out, and what's happening on the back end or on the on chain as well. So let's start the video. And if we look at the current heat map or the crypto heat map, you guys can clearly see that it's trading next to sluggish or bearish, and things have retraced after the recent pump that we saw. Apart from some altcoins that is still sitting green, like we can clearly see IMX, INJ, LeaderDAO, Rune, FET, all of these cryptos are still sitting green, and the majors taking a hit of 1 to 2%. So this is about the current market scenario. When I talk about the capitalization, then it has come down a little. I think it's down by 200 billion or something. When I talk about Bitcoin, it's down somewhere around 1.8%, Ethereum 2%. So currently, Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin after looking at the retracement. However, on a daily chart, if we see something else happening, then we actually do not know. Solana is down 2%, BNB 1.5%. XRP is literally outperforming the market, and I do not know the a good fundamental reason behind that, because I did not see any news popping up. There can be a possibility of XRP's ETF coming in. Maybe a lot of institutions are buying XRP because of that, and nobody knows about it. And this news can be thrown any day or in a month or two. So watch out for that. Toncoin is somewhere next to break even only. Dogecoin is down 2%, and on a 7-day thing it's up 14%. Cardano is down 2% as well, and if you take at major hits, then AVAX has taken a 4% hit, Shiba Inu 4%, and the rest stays the same, 3 to 1%. Now let's hop on to the fear and greed index. You guys can clearly see the last week when we were trading near 59, $56,000. This basically, from a retailer perspective, was a fearful week. That is what you would say. And people were not buying, rather retailers or mass retailers were trying to sell. But if you look at this week, where Bitcoin is currently trading somewhere around $64,400, we are now sitting at greed. So you can get a little cautious once you see this, near extreme greed. And at the same time, it depends whether are we trading near the all-time highs or are we still trading near 68,000, because that's also going to point up psychologically, not fundamentally or technically, but psychologically, towards a retracement. However, I'm anticipating a retracement very soon, but I will discuss that over charts. This third thing that I need to mention and you guys need to take a look at is CoinGlass. CoinGlass's liquidation map. So the liquidation map currently shows one thing that you guys need to understand. This is the short liquidation and this is the long liquidation. And when I look at the long liquidation, even up to 58,000, it's somewhere around 300 million, 300 million. You guys can clearly see. I think a cumulative one is going to be somewhere around, let's say, $2 billion max, or $1.5 billion. But when you look at the long liquidations, there are huge liquidations, short liquidations. There are huge liquidations that's still sitting, I would say, up to $68,500, and it's not even considered this of $70,000. So the market can do two things. First, from this perspective, if I talk about the cumulative longs too, you guys can clearly see that the cumulative longs, including all the exchanges, are somewhere near 1.3 billion. This is the long liquidation, leverage. And on a short liquidation, you guys can clearly see the cumulative long ranges from 1.5 to $2 billion. So from an exchange perspective, they would really like to liquidate the late longs out first, maybe, or we can be in a scenario where they can, simply evaporate all the shorts out, take all the short outs, flush all the shorts up to 68 or $70,000, and then show us a retracement. Because if you look at the chart, there is no big resistance in Bitcoin's chart. So we can simply liquidate everything out and all of the shorts out, and then maybe look for all these longs, or maybe first target these longs and then look for more shorts above 74,000 or $70,000. So you guys need to factor in this too, and this will just give you a broader scenario of what can possibly happen. Now, When I talk about the Bitcoin spot ETF, you guys can clearly see that the smart money has been buying ETFs since 2024, and I would rather just talk about 3rd July. You've seen $14 billion coming in collectively, and post that $143 million, $294 million, $216 million. We saw on 16th of July, we saw $422 million of Bitcoin being bought. So the ETFs are being bought by all the asset managers and investment banks, which is a positive thing. And this is the actually the real demand behind Bitcoin's ETF. The real demand can only be seen once we see when Bitcoin is not trading at a good price, or rather when the whole market is bearish. If you see Bitcoin ETFs being bought, that shows that something or the other, or the sell off is getting consumed, and that consumption is necessary in order for the prices to push up. Now let's get to the best part of this video, which is the technicals part, and I will be wrapping up the levels that you guys need to watch. But before jumping right over to altcoins or Bitcoin, you guys need to make sure that you guys are first covering things that leads up to the growth or the expansion. Now this is the USDT dominance, and you guys need to closely watch out this. If I look at the weekly chart of USDT dominance, you guys can clearly see, we can probably see the most important level is going to be this, which is 4.30%. You guys can probably expect a retracement or a move like this from here. Maybe we might pierce this, or we might take a move, jump from here. Let me clear this out and show you guys in a proper way. We might jump from here as well, or maybe a pierce from here. This is going to be the first possibility. The second possibility can be that we might simply move from here. If we move from here and make another, swing high, altcoins are again going to take a good, retracement, and post that it might start bleeding again. But if this is simply going to go up a little and then we start pushing down, I want this whole trend to get invalidated and we turn bearish more, because if we go towards 2%, or let's say if we go towards 2% slowly as well, it's going to be a very good run up for altcoins. So closely watch out how Bitcoin dominance performs. Now we'll hop onto the 1-day chart, and even if you guys are not covering rest of the altcoins properly technically, I think you guys need to cover Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance very closely before making an investment decision. So you guys can clearly see that we got rejected off this zone, where we saw a small consolidation, and then this was the expansionary move towards the downside, and again we saw a small consolidation here towards the downside. Now over here it's going to be important, and I think we might consolidate for a while over here, since the market is sideways and next to bullish and not bearish, and then we might fall further. The important POI is going to be this, which is ranging from 4.3%, and the second POI is going to be this area. Okay, watch out these zones in order to anticipate a reaction. I am talking about a reaction and not a jump or a pump or a dump. Okay, watch out these zones in order to see what's going to be the reaction. Secondly, when you guys mark out these zones, so when you guys mark out these zones, the only thing that these zones are going to help you in, let's say when you see Bitcoin dominance, or rather USDT dominance falling, you guys will be able to understand, okay, fine, if USDT dominance is falling, we can expect a downfall till here, and post that we can probably see a small bounce. Now that small bounce can only be played out once you load off, or once you get offloaded by your altcoins. If you are offloading your altcoins, you are simply saving up on a lot of money, because then altcoins take a bigger dip. So that dip can be saved if you guys can simply anticipate the move of USDT dominance. Now the second chart that I'll be talking about is going to be Bitcoin dominance, and Bitcoin dominance is something that I've already discussed in my previous video, that it's currently looking bullish. I would not term it as bearish. I am waiting for Bitcoin dominance to top out here before I start adding altcoins to my bag aggressively. So I am closely watching out this, and let's say if we do not close above this and we start getting rejected from here, I'll simply let my winners run, and I'm not going to do anything except if I see a good retracement either in Solana or in Ethereum. Sorry, I might simply accumulate that. Okay. Now, this is all about Bitcoin dominance because I don't have much to cover on a daily chart because you guys can clearly see the path that I've drawn. We've got two, paths to watch out for. The first path is very simple, whether you see a sweep above this and a close above this. If not, please watch out for this zone. Okay. Now, total market cap, another one, which is right here. So the total market cap is right here trading at $2.3 trillion. Let me hide all the drawings and show you guys. So see, we did see a close above this zone. Now it's going to be important how are we reacting from this zone as well. It's going to be very important to see how's the reaction. Let me remove this out. This was an excess price movement because a lot of people were trying to take or play this bounce out. So the market simply took out this whole sell side liquidity. A lot of people shorted, made money, and then they kept on shorting, got trapped. A lot of people sold off, got trapped, and this was nothing but a rebalance of this whole imbalance being created. And this was the imbalance or the impulsive move over here. This got balanced up to the wick, and that is how it started pumping again. Now it's going to be important to wait for a retracement, a decent retracement, maybe up to $2.2 trillion again, and then we see an expansionary move. This is the reason why I'm not, suggesting or anticipating a move towards the upside unless it's a liquidation grab. Okay, so I'm sorry about that, but yes. So you guys need to closely watch out the total market cap, the Bitcoin dominance, and the USDT dominance, and it's going to be important for you guys to simply, filter out your zones, your entries accordingly. Now let's take a quick wrap up of all the altcoins. 1inch is currently trading at a stage where I'm simply going to wait for a retracement. If you are holding 1inch, let's say if you've taken it as a swing, it's better that you can think about locking in gains only if you are in one. If you are not in one, simply hold. Aave is currently looking fair, and I would simply wait for a retracement. I am just going to wait for a retracement for Aave. If you are holding Aave and if you are in gains, or let's say if you are in profit, you can simply lock in your gains. If you do not want to lock in your gains and if your horizon is big, you can hold Aave as well. Let's talk about Cardano. Cardano is currently trying to flip this zone, and it's trying to flip out, and it did flip out. It's trying to make a base here. If it tries to make a base here, takes a decent retracement, maybe up to the zone of 40 to 42 cents. I'll wait for a reaction, and I'm not going to do anything. So I am more focused on talking about whether I'm going to take a monetary decision on any of these altcoins or not, because that's more important. You can simply avoid the bad entries out. That is going to cut out a lot of noise. So yeah, let's just wait for a retracement because all of these altcoins are trying to flip the current zone. Alice looks good, and there's a huge imbalance on the left side. You can clearly see got taken out by the excess price. I think you guys can clearly see, or you guys can easily keep Alice on your radar, and if you see a retracement, watch out for this one. We might retrace. We might. Aptos. So yeah, I'm deadly waiting for a retracement here, maybe up to this zone, and we might probably try to move up again. So Aptos has a decent upside coming. Wait out for this zone from $6 to $6.5. We can easily retrace up to that zone, and the weekends are near, so watch out for that. Arbitrum. Arbitrum is something that I'm going to avoid as of now. There's nothing good on the chart, no flip, no structure that is good. I am not going to be accumulating Arbitrum. The same goes for Atom as well. Until unless this basic swing low that it recent, not even a swing low, I would simply say a small sideways consolidation. Until unless it's flipping above this or above this, I'm not going to be taking anything or doing anything with Atom. AVAX is trying to base out, and this completely looks fine. If you guys are planning to accumulate AVAX, you guys can probably watch out for this zone of $20 $224 and it can act as a very good range. But as of now, simply wait because AVAX can fall down more as well. So wait for that 20 to $24 getting hit for AVAX, and you guys can probably think about accumulating it. Another same thing, I'm waiting for this zone to be taken out or the price to consolidate here, or else I won't be doing anything. Most of these setups were already getting formed when market was dipping, and structurally there was nothing to actually trade as long as you guys were chasing the imbalances and waiting for the price to get rebalanced. If your entry was like that, then it was different, but structurally there was no setup being formed except for some altcoins, and that is what we are currently seeing. This is the reason why you're not seeing a lot of setups being formed. Bitcoin, I would just try to wait out because I'm waiting for a retracement to somewhere around 60 to $62,000. So yes, I'll just be waiting patiently. Nothing to do in Chilis as well. Compound is near to my origin of entry, and probably I can just wait out for some more consolidation. Nothing. CRV, I'm avoiding. I'm no more bullish on CRV after the structure that it has recently printed. Dogecoin can consolidate here more, so wait out for that consolidation. Okay. Dot is another slow mover, but it has got a lot of projects, not a project, but a lot of developments coming in. And the recent conference was quite bullish, but they talk about a lot of developments, but that's the same cannot be seen in the price. This is what I do not like about Dot. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, excuse me for a while. But when I talk about Dot, I think from a development perspective, this project is fundamentally very strong, but not from a perspective when you look at price. See, from a trading perspective or from an investment perspective, you simply want gains. You do not care whether it is making a lot of developments or not. But a lot of people fail to understand the fact that even developments are necessary in order for a project to move. But when it's not reflecting on the price, that is where the parity comes in. But anyways, you guys can probably avoid Dot for now, avoid DYDX. Engine has nothing to do. Ethereum Classic, nothing. Ethereum, I'm waiting for this zone to be triggered from ranging from 3,000 to $3,200, and that's where I'll be adding to my size. FET, I recently gave a call out on my Telegram channel, and it's going to remain the same. I'll just be waiting for this zone, and I can simply add up more. So retracement towards 1.3 to 1.2. You guys can probably watch out that. And yes, FET can be a good accumulation. This is a strong crypto. Flow, there's nothing to watch out. Phantom has started retracing. Watch out for that. Gala, nothing to do. Phantom, I did not talk about level now. So if I look at Phantom, okay, so it did not flip the structure first. It simply, took out the fair value gap and it's trying to get rejected from here. See, if you are interested in accumulating Phantom, simply try to understand how the price reacts from this zone. If it's coming down back to this base of origin, if it's trying to consolidate, simply wait for this structure to be flipped and do not take an entry because it can simply throw up 10-20% and again come down more. So wait for how the price reacts over here. GMT, nothing. GMX has a decent base being built. Mark out this zone, the recent lows, $22. Wait for a retracement, basic retracement towards 24 to 25, a decent consolidation, and that's where you can plan entries. A 5% stop loss can be beneath this, so probably around $19. Can take an entry around $23 to $22 or 20 to 23, any the range, the whole range is validated. And yes, then you guys can probably watch out for a swing long over here. This looks completely fine to me from an entry perspective. Wait for the base to get more matured and you guys can probably watch out for targets up to 46 or maybe more than that. Your first TP should be here. GRT. GRT2 has nothing good. Started retracing again. I'll just wait for this zone to be taken out, or the price testing, or taking out these liquidity sweeps. or the liquidity wicks, and then I'll plan for an entry. I want to see a reaction. See, like I talked about IMX in my Telegram. Excuse me for that. So yeah, when I talk about IMX, so you guys can clearly see that IMX is now trying to build a base, and at the same time it's trying to consolidate. Whether it's consolidating, as long as it's consolidating up to this range of 1.3 to 1.4, the trend is going to be validated, and I just want a consolidation first, because if the price is not consolidating and if the price is simply moving like this, the moves are going to be very, very volatile. The moment you start seeing consolidations, that's where you try to understand, the demand and supply for a buyer and a seller perspective happens to be fine, because this is what they assume, that currently the price trading from this zone to this zone is very fair, and the amount of demand and supply is same too. Now this happens to be a zone where we try to anticipate whether the prices are going to move up or not. So this usually happens to be a good thing. Now Injective is a strong project. If you guys are seeing it somewhere around 22 to $23, let's say 20 to $23, it is going to be a good buy. So watch out. I personally have a position too, and kindly consult your financial advisor as well. Kava has nothing to do. Avoid. Clayton has nothing to do. Avoid. Lido Dow has been trading good, and it has reacted from the same origin where it took this huge impulsive move from. Has reacted from the same zone. Trend looks good. Good reaction. Wait for some sort of retracement, probably to this zone. I would say $1.7, and I would simply mark this out. You guys get a better understanding. Watch out for this zone, whether we see a reaction again from this zone or maybe from this zone. You guys can probably watch out that Lena has nothing to do anything. Reacted from the same demand, but I don't have anything to say because not at a good space where I can think about accumulation. Okay, Link looks nice to me. You guys can probably plan your entries out if you guys are willing to do so around this range of $12.2. LTC, nothing much to do. It is going to retrace and just wait for the retracement and a bigger consolidation, like I usually say. Mana is looking fair. Two small candles towards the retracement, and now it's trying to move up again. So until and unless this structure is getting flipped, this structure of 48 cents, don't do anything and simply wait for price to flip that structure. Mask, nothing to do. Matic, nothing. Avoid Matic as of now. Mina, nothing to do. Mantle, nothing to do. Near is good. Wait for a retracement towards this zone of $5 to $5.5, and you guys can probably take your entries or swing entries there. OP is going to retrace again, so watch out for that. If it's not retracing, let your winners run. Quantum, simply avoid. Render, you guys can avoid. As of now, I am not seeing anything. Rune, yeah, wait for this structure to get turned out. If this is taken out, then we see a retracement. That's where your entry should be. Let this get taken out first, and I'll update it on my Telegram. So you guys can probably join my Telegram, which is for free. Nothing there on SAD, nothing there on Shiba Inu. SNX is trying to flip the structure again. Watch out. Solana is going to be good. Wait for a retracement towards this zone of this, 140 to $145, and it can be a very good accumulation. STMX, nothing. Storage, nothing. STX, nothing. Sui, no man. Avoid Sui. Wait. So basically, try to flip the structure again, and showed a decent recovery from the recent lows that it printed, and now it's trying to retrace back. So I am going to be observing 0.70 to 0.80. That's going to be the area. That's going to be my point of interest. Sushi, nothing. Theta, nothing. TLM is looking good. It's trying to flip the structure, making impulsive moves. Okay, wait for a consolidation. TRX, nothing. Uniswap, nothing. WLD has printed a lot of bullish candles. So yeah, and XLM, nothing. XRP, nothing as of now. And you guys can clearly see reacted from the same previous zone where it got rejected from. I'm just going to be waiting for 55 cents to, let's say, 50 cents before looking for an accumulation. And you guys can probably do the same if you guys want to. And Zilliqa, nothing to do. So this is actually all about, the structures that you've seen. And you guys can probably plan out your entries, because currently we are in a stage of staging retracement, and this staging retracement is nothing but anticipating a retracement. The retracements are going to give you conservative entries, and you actually need conservative entries, because in trading timing is everything, and if your timing is not right, you guys won't be able to make a decent profit out of it. So just make sure that you guys can simply watch out that. And yes, I'll see you guys in the next video with a new update.